A very good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for the UBC Weekly News Roundup edition of the Lunchtime News. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark, and I'm going to be taking you for the first 1 hour of this hour. And we're going to be breaking down the stories that made headlines within the week. So do sit tight. Let's get into the bulletin. Now this week, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni commissioned the first ever cement factory in Nadungate Sub-County, Moroto Sub-Region in Karamoja. The $300 million Yawobai or Yawobai cement factory is run by Yawobai International Holding and produces 6,000 tons of clinker on a daily based on its aim to produce 1,200 tons in phase 2. Let's take a look at that story.
President Museveni was among the African leaders and investors who today gathered in Nairobi for the inaugural Africa Will Build Summit, focused on unlocking domestic capital and turning infrastructure plans into bankable projects and jobs. The two-day meeting, hosted by the Africa Finance Corporation in partnership with the government of Kenya, brought together decision-makers to drive regional integration and industrial growth under the theme, Infrastructure as the Engine of Industrialization. Addressing the summit, Museveni said Africa's challenge is not lack of money, but ideology.
But I think if we only focus on infrastructure alone, we may not go far. Because there are wars. There are wars in Congo, there are wars in South Sudan, there are wars in all these different places, Somalia. So how will you have infrastructure if people are fighting for wrong reasons?
He said the continent remains held back by fragmented markets, low value addition, and weak infrastructure. On Uganda's oil sector, Museveni said claims that refineries do not make money were misleading, maintaining that refining locally is key to retaining value.
Refineries don't make money. They don't make money. How about the ones who build them? Why do they build them? Then when I checked, the refinery in Uganda actually is very, very profitable.
He also reaffirmed Uganda's ban on exporting unprocessed minerals.
I have banned the export of unprocessed minerals. All of them, I have banned them.
I must really thank President of Uganda for taking this bold move. Stopping the export, they will be forced, they will come and produce. Why do you want to take the raw material, then you bring it back?
On his part, Kenya's President William Ruto backed Uganda's position, saying President Museveni rejected pressure to take easier options on oil.
I want to thank President Museveni for refusing to accept easy choices. He had a choice. He had a choice to allow the oil in Uganda to go the way others would have wanted. But I remember having a conversation with President Museveni, and allow me, Mzee, to say this. When I visited him once, and I asked him, Mzee, what's going to happen about the oil reserves that you have, because it's taken time. And I remember Mzee telling me, look, young man, then I wasn't even president. He told me, you see, some of these people you see here, if we give them a chance, they will sell this oil at a throwaway price and go and buy perfume.
Ruto said Kenya will invest in Uganda's refinery, building on Uganda's earlier investment in the Kenyan pipeline.
President Museveni called me and said, I want to buy 50% of Kenya pipeline. And he told me, I don't care the price. You know, that's how serious he was. When some other pessimists in Kenya were saying, oh, you know, the price is very high, I don't know. You know, President Museveni could see beyond the price. He could see the opportunity of transforming our nation, our region together. Mzee, I want to assure you that the same way you invested in Kenya pipeline, Kenya is going to invest in your refinery and in the future of our resources together.
During a panel discussion, Nigerian industrialist Aliko Dangote pledged support to build a similar refinery in East Africa.
Well, my commitment today here is that if we agree with the 3-4 governments here about the refinery, we will lead and will make sure that that refinery is built within the next 4 or 5 years.
A new infrastructure report released at the summit shows that Africa has over $2 trillion in domestic capital, but much of it remains in short-term investments.
We do beg your pardon. That was the conference in Nairobi, the Africa We Build Summit, where the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni met other dignitaries. The President of Kenya and Aliko Dangote were the headline guests there. But without further ado, we move on to the next story. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni commissioned the first ever cement factory in Nadunget Sub-County, Moroto District, Karamoja Sub-Region. The $300 million Yaobai cement factory is run by Yaobai International Holding and produces 6,000 tons of clinker on a daily basis. And it is aiming to produce 12,000 tons in a phase that is to come not so long after this.
President's distinguished guest who's joined us, the former Prime Minister of Ethiopia.
The new dawn in Karamoja is expected to strengthen the local construction economy and provide infrastructure development in the region and its neighbors. The investment changes the perception about the volatile Karamoja to industrial hub.
Is no more. Your Excellency, let us drive the innovation and value addition of our resources to the best, so that everyone who believes in investing comes and adds value from Uganda. Your Excellency, I did not achieve this without the support from my chairman. When you gave us the green light, he gave me the green light to access the funds. We've spent $260 million here to have the facility up. We are already spending another $80 million in Ginger. We are already spending another $80 million in Ginger, where the grinding station will be. As we move the clinker from here, we send it down to Ginger in Nibuikwe for value addition to make the final cement.
Once fully operational, this project will fundamentally transform Uganda's industrial landscape, ending the long-standing reliance of imported clinker, saving the nation 200 million exchange easier beyond Uganda, South Sudan, Western Kenya, strengthening regional supply, resilience, contribution directly to the East African goals of infrastructure integration.
The factory is expected to employ between 3,000 to 4,000 permanent and contract employees once fully operational.
Moja are so happy with you and with your success. When we heard you had succeeded, some of us who had even used to say, what for? If we have not, that is the man who want to go ahead. We shall continue working with him.
We will move towards achieving the required consumption because the building industry is growing, the road construction, the railway, they are also growing. I want to, at this juncture, thank our developers. Thank you, Ambrose, for making good friends. Thank you for saving Uganda $260 million every year that we have been spending. Last year it was 154. This financial year we are saving 260. Thank you so much.
The construction works commenced in September 2023.
Even the old factories which are already here, some of them were using imported clinker to make cement, which means we're losing 85% of a ton of cement to the outside world. And as you heard, Uganda was spending $260 million to import clinker. So Mr. Zhang has now liberated us from importing clinker.
Karamoja sub-region has 3 industries: Marble Factory in Rupa sub-county, Yaobai Cement Karamoja Factory in Aduget sub-county, and Tororo Cement, which is under construction in Tapach sub-county, Moroto district.
Hundreds of people turned up at Kololo Independence Grounds today to take part in the Muhoozi Birthday Run, an event that brought together supporters, fitness enthusiasts and members of the public in a show of unity and celebration. The run, organized as part of the activities to mark the birthday of Muhoozi Kainerugaba, attracted participants from different walks of life, all eager to be part of the high-energy occasion. From the early hours of the morning, Kololo Independence Grounds was filled with excitement as runners gathered, warmed up and prepared to take on the various race categories. The event not only highlighted the growing culture of fitness and wellness, but also served as a platform for community engagement, drawing large crowds and creating a vibrant atmosphere in the heart of Kampala.
To be part of this. Who doesn't celebrate General's 52nd birthday? Our hero. Our hero. And our future. Yeah, the next General. He's nowhere to be seen. We are here with Honorable Badam. Honorable Taiwa, please come over. We are waiting for you. We promised the nation. You are hiding. Where are you?
Say happy birthday to Redemption Song.
Muganda wafe Andrew Mwenda asobodde naye okudduka n'amalako. Abali mu pavilion njagala mpulira akalulu ka General Muhoozi. Akalulu ka General Muhoozi kaliwa. Kale katuulira akalulu ka.
Speaking